It's an honor. It's an honor to meet you, sir. Sit down. Of course, welcome to, the our BMA sessions.
Yeah, man, glad to be here.
All right, sir. I'm still starstruck. My bad, man. All right, let's start it off. So when did it start? Like, how young were you when you started DJing?
I started about 10.
10.
And it was just growing up in Philadelphia with just the music scene that we had. There was a lot of house parties. There were a lot of block parties, especially in the summer.
Yeah.
That people would just kind of set up speakers in the middle of the street. They would block the street off, and they would just play music.
Philly's a cold place, so
Well, that's why it had to be in the summer.
Yeah.
But you would just ride your bike from block party to block party and just listen to the music that people played. So, it was just one of those things growing up right in the middle of it that you kind of got a chance to, experience the whole music scene from the inside out.
So who influenced you to start DJing?
I think going to these block parties and I remember going to a block party and the DJ was set up kind of like on a porch, but it was enclosed so you couldn't see him.
Yeah.
And he had these two big massive stacks of speakers. And it was kind of like all you did was hear the music he played and then he would say something on the mic. And it was just kind of like this weird Darth Vader moment that it's like this guy's playing this music and he's affecting everybody out here, and you don't know who he is. You don't know his face. You just hear his voice, and you just connected with him through the music that he played. And I would kind of stare at the porch, and then I would stare at the people, and you would just kind of like, he was like a puppet master controlling.
So you don't even know who this DJ is actually. Like he's like you hit it. Like it's just the music. It's just the energy he's throwing out there.
You realize the power of the tunes that he was playing and how it affected people. And I was just really drawn to that. It was just like, I want to do that.
Nice. I like that. Because that's the same thing with us too here growing up. The records that we spin from your era. Speaking of that. Spinning, what's the two first records you spun together, mixed it all up and or the first two records you juggled?
Well, I mean, this was way before juggling and this was just more so just trying to keep the beat together. And I think one of the first two records that I had, two of the same copies, might have been Vaughn Mason's Rock Bounce Roll Skate. And it was just one of those things that it might have took me a minute and a half to bring this side into this side because you just wanted to make sure everything was right. But it was more than anything, it was about extending the good part of the record. So, your favorite part of the record could actually be played for 10
minutes.
Yeah.
Just putting it all together. Because that's really the essence of DJing.
That's it.
Getting the right break beat and making it to a whole jam. But that's what people should know now too, that DJing really started from, finding that right pattern, that right break right there, and putting it and make everybody
right section of the record. It might be 30 seconds. 30 seconds was really long. It might be 10 seconds.
Just like 8 counts.
Yeah.
And then,
just keep repeating it.
Nice. All right. So let me start now. When you were DJing, of course, you're taking over. You've been doing this. How did the Fresh Prince, the Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince start?
Well, growing up in Philly, there was a time that it was a bunch of DJs. There were a bunch of rappers. There were a bunch of crews.
Yeah.
So Will was actually in another crew in a different section of the city. And they would throw these big parties and you would kind of go and you kind of saw all of the other crews because everybody would kind of be on the show. So I knew of Will, and at that time I was one of the bigger guys in the city, so he knew of me. And this was before cell phones, Blackberries, iPhones. So this was when you had to be in the house.
Call him up.
If you weren't in the house, you missed the call. And I got a call, and someone was like, listen, they're having a house party on 59th and Woodcrest, which is the street. It's actually the street that Will lived on.
Yeah.
And they want to know if you can DJ. And I was like, yep, I can do it. So I picked up the phone and I called my MC at the time, and he wasn't in the house. So it was kind of like, I'm gonna have to do this without him. So, you know, got a ride, put your equipment in the car, you go to the house, and the first person that walked in when I was setting up was Will. And it was like, oh man, like, you know, he's, oh man, I live up the street. And I was like, oh man. So he asked, like, you know, where's Ice? And I was just like, he's, you know, I couldn't find him. So he was just like, yo, so you mind if I rock with you tonight? And I was like, cool. And the night was history.
That started the whole thing.
It was the balance between a DJ and an MC can be magical if you have the right balance. Like, it's almost a situation of the right MC can read the DJ's mind and the right DJ can read the rapper's mind. And it was kind of like, for the first time that we played, it was kind of like he would rhyme, and I naturally knew on the fourth beat that I'm gonna drop the music out so that his punchline would come through, and then I'm gonna bring it back in. And he just kind of looked at me, kind of like, how'd you know to do that?
Yeah.
But it was also, when I would do stuff, he would pay attention to what hand I was using to know not to call something out on the wrong hand.
All right.
And that was with no rehearsal, no practice, no anything. So just that natural chemistry, you know, and then we had a ball. You know, we joked and laughed all night. And when the night was over, it was like I dapped him up and I went home, and I was just kind of like, I want to do that again.
And then,
so I got a call the next night, and I called him on the phone and said, hey, what you doing tonight? I got something else, you want to go? And he was like, yeah.
And then it became Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
That was it.
Still, you've been working, of course. Not a lot of people know this. Of course, you know him as the dudes that, you know, the tandem of Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince. But you've been working, of course, in the background too as a producer with a lot of artists. You know, let's talk about the music right now. Well, how's your process of making, like, you know, a nice track for a rapper or a singer, or, you know?
Well, I came up in a different era that I wanted to be a producer, and not just a beat maker. And a lot of people don't really understand that there's a really big difference in that, because a producer can produce a record and not touch anything.
Yeah.
A producer can hire a beat maker to make the beat for the record he wants to produce. And it was just more so about wanting to put together something that was really, really complete from top to bottom, not just, you know, I want to make the beat. You know, it's like, where do I want the end result to be? And it was great to have somebody, you know, like Will, that we would kind of sit down and we would go through every stage of, okay, this is the beat. Does he feel the beat? What can I add to this? When he puts his stuff on it, I have to go back and then shape it around what he's done. Sonically, how do you want it to sound? You know, from the bass, the mids, the highs. Structure-wise, how do you want it? Then going even deeper, from a DJ's perspective, am I trying to make this a very DJ-friendly record? So do I put a kick or a snare in the beginning of it before the beat drops? Because as a DJ, I know DJs will want to cut that. Do I leave 8 bars in the beginning for DJs to rock to before
the song comes on?
So it was just, you know, just starting from that, my process, you know, a lot of times is I want to know who I'm working with. So almost like the very first day or the first 2 days, I don't do anything but talk. So it's kind of like just trying to figure out, you know, where you at, because it's almost like when you get to know somebody, it's very easy to make music with them. You know, it's just, you know, it's kind of like you're a chef. And if I don't know what you like to eat, how am I going to cook for you? So it's like, let me sit down and figure out what you like, you know, what do you eat, what are you allergic to, and then let me just see if I can put it together and put something that you like.
This is a good way of putting
that's exactly what it is.
You know, it's like cooking. It's like you're in the kitchen.
That's it.
All right, y'all. Anybody has any more questions? You guys got questions? Because I got a lot, but I want to know your point of view. Anybody has questions? All right, Kat. Yes. Microphone, please. You got a question? You got this. There you go. I got this.
Big fan, by the way. I'm just wondering, like, when you do your live sets, like, do you plan it or do you just freestyle it?
It's a mixture of both. I may have about 100 sets that I can do, and I like to mix and match out of the 100 sets because with that you have an unlimited amount. Sometimes I know that this block of 6 records that I want to play is in this set, and I'll play those 6 and then go to something else. So it's kind of like figuring out on the fly what you do, and then you know that you are prepared no matter what, you know, with the 100 sets that you have.
Cool, thank you.
Anyone? You? Okay. All right, Kat, can you? I've been standing. I can be there. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just nervous right now. All right, bro.
On that stand-up since I may block the camera sa tapat. So,
Can't hear you.
I'm doing from ABS-CBN stand. Okay.
Can you make your voice louder? There you go.
I was just curious na. How would you describe your friendship with Winsor?
How would I describe my friendship? It's like any friendship with somebody that you've had for 20 plus years. You have to look at it that it's kind of like Will and I were friends before any of this happened to him or to me. So none of that changed at all. The only thing that happens is he got busier and I got busier. But for the most part, it's the same, you know, and you appreciate that because having somebody that knew you from the beginning, we speak to each other like that. Like he's not some big giant movie star to me, and I'm Jeff to him. So it's kind of like we get on the phone or we get in person and we kind of have those real conversations. And sometimes you don't or not able to have those conversations with people like that. So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
My man over there. And can you help my man over there? There you go. It's like by a hand.
Yes, Mike Moreno from Business World. Jazz, as far as DJing as a career, you've been in the game for a while now. Can you recommend it as a viable career for someone who's passionate in it? And can anybody be a DJ?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, the first part, well, I'll answer the second part first. You can actually be whatever you want to be. You just have to convince the world that you're that. So everybody in this room can say that they're a DJ. It's how much can you make the world believe that you're a DJ and someone want to put their trust in you as a DJ. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm an astronaut. And until I go to the moon or convince people, you know, it's going to be what it is. What was the first part of your question?
As far as
Being a career, well, you know what? I look at it like this, and this goes not just in DJing, but most of the arts. Most of the arts and in sports, it starts off with something because you love it. You know, it's like I play basketball. I go to the park and I play basketball because I love it. I have a good time. I really think I got a good jump shot, and I go and I play. And then all of a sudden, I try for an organized team, and then I make the team, and I'm pretty good on the team. And then someone tells me to play for my high school, and then I play, and I'm really good at high school, and then I go to college on a scholarship, and then I make it to the pros. It's kind of like, it starts off because you love it when it comes to DJing. And then when you realize that you can make some money off of it, maybe not even enough money to live off of, but you can make some money off of it, then it starts to turn into a job. very few people, if you're very fortunate, can take the job and turn it into a career. So you absolutely can. It's just what you put into it. You know, are you putting in the work to try to turn it into a career? Because, you know, the job and the career is very different.
That's actually true. Any more?
Good day, kind sir. Jeff, it's two questions. One is, do you think the MCs are losing their relevance as far as being partners with DJs? Because all around the world, DJs are getting. You've seen DJ evolve from it being a MC DJ tandem now. Do you think the MCs are losing their relevance? One. My second question is, you've had the luxury to travel around the world because of your music. If you could go back to another place to dig for records, which is the best country to dig records for?
We got tons here, I just want to say.
Don't tell me that. Well, the funny thing about the DJ MC thing was it was really when hip hop kind of got big, it was the DJ and the MC. It was Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, it was Eric B and Rakim. You knew every rapper's DJ if they weren't a part of the group. And then I think it went through this stage of selfishness. The industry went through a stage of selfishness, which translated to the artist, that it turned into, you know what, I don't want to share the stage with a DJ or share a billing with a DJ when everybody was really coming to see me rap. So I'm going to push my DJ to the back, which I really didn't like that part. There was a point in time, especially in hip hop, that I felt there were more rock groups with DJs than there were hip hop groups with DJs. And then a very weird transition happened, that the explosion of the DJ has gotten so big that I know a bunch of rappers now that DJ, that because they think that this is kind of the next big thing. You know, I know everybody wants to say, you know, I've been DJing from the beginning, or I've always had the love of DJing. It's just very appropriate how everybody wants to be a DJ now. So I think that if there's a separation of the rapper and the DJ, a lot of it is coming from, you know, there was a point in time when a rapper said, I don't need a DJ, and I think it's just the reversal now, that in a lot of instances, the DJ are saying, I don't need the rapper, which I don't think is good for hip hop at all, either one of them. I think, you know, the true element of hip hop is all of it mixed together in a pot. So I encourage, you know, the DJs to find the right hand, you know, and the MCs want to find a good DJ.
And second question, what's up for that? If there is a place in you can
Oh
go
man,
with a lot of records.
I went to Brazil, and everyone was telling me that that was kind of the holy grail for records. It was definitely overwhelming. I went to a little apartment that this guy had in Rio, that he might have had 100,000 records in this apartment. And anybody who really digs for records, you know the smell of the vinyl. You've climbed over boxes and spiders and bugs and shit, and just to get to that box, because you know that there's something special in that box.
You can smell
over
it.
there. And it kind of took you back. You know, it definitely took you back. I'm really interested in the records you guys have here.
Christian? Oh boy.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Any more? All right. Oh man, over there.
Hi, I'm Alvar from Clevel Magazine. Two questions. First, what's your impression of Filipino DJs? And second, if there's any, after everything that you've learned over the years, is there any skill that you want to unlearn?
that I want to learn.
Unlearn. If there's any.
Unlearn?
Yeah, like you don't like. I wish I didn't know how to do that. I like that. The skill, any skill though, you know.
I don't know if there's a skill I want to unlearn. I think the more that you know, the more arsenal you have in your bag to cover yourself. It's crazy because I think I'm learning more now than I ever had, and I really think it's a maturity thing that you get to a point. Some people get older and you think that you've done a lot and you've seen a lot and you know a lot, so you don't have to learn anything. And then some people get older and you start to realize just how much you don't know, and you want to learn. And I think the experience of me traveling around the world as much as I do has heightened the fact that you want to learn more, especially discovering music, discovering styles, just in the way that the world works musically, because it's very, very similar, and at the same time it's very different. And then as far as the second question, it's I'm cool with Shortcut and Qbert, and the first time that I came to the Philippines, I realized that there is a vibration and a soul here that I didn't see anywhere else in the world. And it was funny because I have a lot of Filipino friends that are great, incredible DJs. And then when you came, you start to really understand that the core of that is in their stomach, and it comes from where they're from.
Yeah.
Because you kind of feel that, when you're here, just the energy and the vibe of the people, and just the overall love of music is something that I don't know any other place that's like it.
Came from memory. We got soul.
Yeah.
Anyone? My man over there. Yeah.
So I'm actually from New York, so I grew up listening to your music. I think "Summertime" was probably my first favorite song. But the question I got is, I heard you and Will never actually had the opportunity to go on tour because of the Fresh Prince show, and that you were going to be planning to go on tour now, something like that.
We never got a chance to go on a world tour. We've been on tour, but it was crazy because we were doing music when the TV show started, and the TV show is kind of like a 9-to-5 job, so it's kind of you can only do other stuff when the show is not taping. So with the success of the show, it kind of really killed our touring.
So you guys picked this TV show because, of course, the schedule's in.
Yeah, we couldn't really go on the road and tour the way that we wanted to, and it kind of, we kind of missed out on it. I mean, I was able later on to just kind of go on, and I've been touring for God knows how long. But every time we would get together, he would talk and basically say, we should go out, we should go out, we should go out. Now, when I was joking with him that I'm already out, I'm waiting for you to join me. So he's just, he got really excited and was just like, 2016, we're going on a world tour. So like, if he said it, I'm with you. Let's go.
And set part B, is that something you're looking forward to?
Oh, I'm always looking forward to it. I mean, anytime Will does a movie, he has an opening party that he puts on for the cast and the crew. Most of the time, if I'm available, I'm the DJ, and every time he comes on and we do a show. And people
On that party.
Yeah, and people are really bugged out because it's really a full show, and they're kind of like, how in the world did you guys put together a full show and you just got here today? You guys didn't rehearse, but it's that DJ MC combination that I said, that we have eye signals that we've had for almost 30 years, that I know what he wants to do, how long he wants to do it, when do you come in and out, and it's almost like, a coach calling out a playbook. We're gonna do this, 2 verses of that, we're gonna do this, and I'm going to this, and I'm gonna do this. And then when I come out, you come in, all right, go. And then you just do it. So every time people see that, they're kind of like, oh my God, you guys should go on the road. And, you know, I'm kind of like, okay, you know, I'm waiting. I would love to go back out. I would love to do one really big tour.
Anyone? Yeah.
Cool.
Who got the mic? Where you go? Teach myself now.
Last question.
Go after him.
Hi. Hello. Yes, hi. Hi, I'm Andrew Garcia of the Manila. How would you differentiate the DJs of your time to the DJs of today? Is it just the equipment that changed, or is it the exposure of the young DJs to music?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think, you know, when I started, we didn't have DJ turntables. We didn't have DJ needles. We didn't have DJ slipbacks. There wasn't really too many things that was made specifically for a DJ. You figured out a way to make it work. You went and got wax paper and you cut the wax paper out to figure out how can I make my record slide. If the holes on your records were too big, you put tape over it and you put it in so that it would kind of lock to, you figured out which your needles doesn't need more weight, and if you did, you would put a penny on it. But if it was too much weight, it would cue burn your records and it would mess your records up, and you would take the penny off. So the records that you needed, the weight you would put it on. It was so many things that you had to do in order to make it work that the DJs of today have absolutely no issues. There's needles that never jump. There's turntables that work great. There's mixers that are designed for exactly what you want to do, which is it's not a bad thing. It's just we had to overcome a lot of those obstacles when we started DJing. And we bought records. We went into the record store and we bought a record. If it was a new record that came out, you wanted one. If you wanted to cut it or do anything, you had to buy two. You had to take care of your records. You didn't really want to make sure that it was scratched, because if it was scratched, then you had to get another one. Sometimes they stopped making a record and it was just extremely hard to get it. But all of those things, you know, are different now because, you know, you can go on a blog and basically download any piece of music that you want. So it's to me, it's a gift and a curse. Me being around when Serato, I was one of the first users of Serato, and it was crazy going to, like that first run, it was almost like you would go to shows and there would be 500 DJs there because they heard that you was doing something out of a computer. And it was almost like, you're the worst person in the world. Oh my God, Jazzy Jeff, I love you so much because you represent real DJs. How dare you use a computer? And they didn't understand that Serato doesn't make you a better DJ. Serato doesn't make it easier for you to DJ. If you suck before Serato, you suck after Serato. The only thing that Serato does is allow you to carry all of the music that you have everywhere you go.
Because before you used to carry the whole crate.
Oh my God. And especially traveling, you know, you carry 3 or 4 crates of records. You know, you almost wanted them to lose your clothes before they lost your records. Because it was, you know, that was more important to the show. So, you know, I just think that it's not a better or worse time. I just think it's different. And I think, you know, I encourage younger DJs to investigate more music, you know, and different genres and just, you know, cool stuff. And I encourage a lot of the older DJs to embrace a lot of the technology that, you know, kind of makes your job a lot easier.
That's actually good. I like that. Rico.
Hi, hello. Welcome to Manila again.
Hey, man.
My name is Shigoro, Buster Monts Radio. Just a question. What keeps you motivated? You know, you've gone through the decades of different music, I guess, evolution. So what keeps you motivated to get up there and continue your music? What drives you to do what you do now?
You know what? I'm sitting on a couch in the Philippines, all because of 2 turntables and a mixer. There are people that never ever get a chance to travel anywhere in the world, and the reason what started me being able to travel like this is delivering music to people and making people have a good time. DJing, to me, the concept of DJing is the simplest thing in the world. My job is to play music to make you happy. That's it. That's it. If you do your job, you will play music to make people happy forever. Like, it's as simple as that. Everybody wants to make it this big, deep thing, and you gotta do this. At the end of the day, the conversation that I've had with so many DJs is it's not about you. There's so many DJs in the world that think it's about them. It's not about you. Because if they don't like you, it's really gonna be about you because you're gonna be DJing in your bedroom by yourself. At the end of the day, my job is to play music for people to have a good time. That's it.
That's actually simple and plain though, you know?
That's it.
Yeah. All right. You know, let's use the turntable, the mixer right now. You know, just, you know, I know some of the DJs right now. You got some friends that are DJs here, and they want to learn or they want to see how you do it, how you cut, how you start it all off, and everything. Like if you start a show, what do you do first, or what do you cut? How do you enter it? How you scratch it? You know.
Well, I mean, you know what it is. A lot of times, I'm thinking about who I'm playing for. And where you want the night to go. It's a start, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
So it has a lot to do with how do you want to start, you know, and it's almost like you know stuff that the people don't know.
Yeah.
So you can start in the most obscure place in the world,
yeah,
but you know where you're going to end up. So it's kind of like I'm slowly pulling the strings, and it's kind of like, okay, we're going to start here, and, you know. And I like when you have the people that kind of have that look, like, oh my God, what is he doing? And then next thing you know, it's kind of like, oh man, that was kind of cool. Oh man, that was really cool. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh my God! And that's what the journey that you want to take people on. But so it just depends on where you're playing and who you're playing for. And your setup and how you want to start. You know, I really like playing cool music, if that makes sense. Stuff that has a little bit of substance and soul, and not necessarily all of the popular stuff. You want to mix, you know, I like playing stuff, to me the essence is playing some stuff that people know, some stuff that people may not know, and then some stuff that's not necessarily walk out talking about the stuff that you did or played that they know. They talk about that different thing that you did that wasn't expected.
Did you expect Jazzy Jeff to drop that track?
Yeah, exactly
like that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, any more questions, my people, before we, you know, I see a hand right there. The lady over there. There you go.
Hi. I know a big part of DJing is really loving music, and do you remember the first record you bought, or the first record that really inspired you to devote your life to music, or play it back to other people?
You know what? I had older brothers and sisters, and me getting into music was listening to the stuff that they were playing, because I was too young to be able to pick my own music, which I think was the best thing in the world, because it exposed me to stuff that I might not have necessarily went to. But it was more about the way that music made me feel. It was more about realizing that every key moment and memory that I had in my head had a song connected to it, which made me realize how important it is. If you don't understand the importance of music, watch your favorite movie and turn the sound off and see if it's still your favorite movie. Because a lot of it is connected to the music. So
Like a soundtrack.
yeah, so it was just, you know, I never can answer the questions about what's your favorite music. I never, you know, you get journalists that ask you if you were stuck on an island and you could only bring one album. I can't do that. Like, I have too much music in my head to narrow it down to one. I look at it like somebody who's got 10 kids and you're saying, pick your favorite kid. Like that, you can't do that.
I know what you mean. All right, So right now you've been, you know, I know you toured, you toured with Skills, and now you're touring with Dwayne. What can we expect, my man over there? You know, I know, you know, a lot of people know him, but he's a dope MC. And what's gonna happen to him tonight? You know.
Well, you know what? Dane and I started working together. I don't remember how long ago. It's been a while. I'm bad with time. But when you meet somebody that has passion for music and passion for their craft, it was kind of a throwback.
Yeah.
We started working, you know, we started working on music, not necessarily knowing where it was gonna go. And then it started turning into something. And it was crazy because I realized that it was something special and I stopped. And just wanted to explain to him, like, listen, I think that, you know, we can take this somewhere else. And he was kind of like, all right, cool, let's go. Yeah. It wasn't the anticipation of it's gotta be out tomorrow or we have to do this right away. It was the understanding that this may take a little bit more time, and I'm down with putting in the time that it takes to make it happen.
Well, you guys are making it happen, right?
Yeah. And we, you know what it is? It's the same passion, energy that we just like people having a good time. But he puts on a hell of a show.
There you go. That's what I want to hear. Speaking of that, what do you call this? All right, Joe, I'm gonna ask this right now. Would you ever work with a Filipino artist?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Let's get you a studio time there.
That's without a question. And I'll bring my studio with me, so.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
You guys heard that? You know, there's a lot of MCs here too.
There you go.
All right, Jazzy, you know, let's have fun. You know what I'm saying? Great, my man, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like Jazzy's already here. You know what I'm saying? Let's show an MC DJ tandem right now. You know, just have fun. You know what I'm saying? Round of applause for my man right here. Then we got a couple more minutes left, and Jazz, it's up to you, man. You can sit down.
I've never DJed.
Sit down.
Like this is kind of dope. This is kind of like the living room. When it's like, I'm just gonna
living room
DJ.
setup.
This is yeah.
You know.
This is interesting.
Oh, you want to take over the edge? Where you from, my man? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm from Philadelphia as well, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the United States. So, yep.
So how's it working with this dude?
It's an honor. You know, I grew up pretty much around the time when the show actually aired, so I missed the initial wave of when him and Will first came into the game.
Yeah.
But to catch it from the period when the show was actually on, it was a heavy influence on not only just Philadelphia, but hip hop and the culture worldwide. So it's amazing. It's an honor.
Well, you know what I'm saying? That this is going to be something new right now here, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know there's a lot of people, especially in the Philippines, the MC and the DJ, always the MC hypes the crowd, but this one right now is going to be something different, right?
Yeah. It's a lot more mellow, a lot more chill, so wherever Jeff goes, I'm following.
There you go. Turn up